orchestrator of this, I guess. I follow your lead.
Hello, what's that? Can you hear me? Oh no. Okay. Hopefully Kyel will get back to us. Hello, everybody. This is Fanny, Ménardi, and Kyel Thomas. We are together today recording a little session for you on social media to introduce ourselves and talk to you about the journey to crypto mastermind that we created since December. Kyel, are you still here? Yay, he's back. Okay, awesome. I lost you for a second.
You kicked me.
Huh? Yeah, I think the internet connection is pretty weird. So Kyel is in Honduras right now, and I am in Florida, in Jacksonville. We studied. I asked Kyel in December to help me about some NFTs because I know he's a lot into crypto, and the conversation started going on to cryptocurrencies, and he told me that he lives off his crypto investments. And then he was like, so passionate about it that it seemed easy when he was talking about it. So he was like, oh, if you want, I can tell you. Kyel left. Hopefully he's going to get back. I think he has problem with his internet connection. Today we were recording a second part of the mastermind, and but he will be back. So what was I saying? Yes. So yeah, he was like, if you want, I can talk to you about it. I was like, yeah, I want to know, because he lives off, he figured out how to generate a passive income from his crypto investment, right? So for me, I'm a total beginner. I'm not into spending a lot of time in front of the computer doing crypto and tradings and looking when it goes down and what to invest next and stuff. It's risky. But then he's actually using a platform that it's like a reward system. So once you invest into some of the crypto, it generates like rewards. And so it rolls on, right? So it's not an overnight income, which actually I was lucky, because when I did buy the crypto, right, the currency in December, within a month, it doubled. Okay, the prices of that crypto went up big time, and so it doubled for me. But so I was like so excited, oh my god, I wish I had more to invest into that. And since then it's become more stagnant. So there's other cryptos. So that's kind of what we're doing when we're talking over the phone. He's telling me, okay, now it's probably better to move it to this crypto, okay, which has a better interest rate and stuff like that. So after all of these conversations and doing this investment, and keeping in mind also that it's an investment long-term, right? Because it's something that rolls on. This is the point of it. It's like it rolls on, and then the crypto, of course, can go up and can fluctuate down as well. So if the crypto goes down, the best you can do is wait till it comes back up, right? If you've bought it for a certain price, you don't want to wait till it goes down, because you lose all of your money. So you keep the amount of crypto that you have, and he's back, and you wait till it goes back up, right? So your dollar value will increase. So yeah, while Kyel is here, oh wait, he's in wait room. I need to accept. Hello. Hey again, welcome. So it's okay, no problem. I was just pretty much explaining how we started talking, and that you explained to me the crypto, how it's like a roll-on system pretty much, that the crypto value can go up and down, but the best is to wait. But the platform itself, what's interesting is that it's a reward system. right? That over the years, when the value actually goes up and it generates a passive income, this is how you live. So while you're here and your internet is working, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and talk about it and the mastermind while you do it for yourself, and why we kind of like, you agreed that we make a mastermind and share it with everybody.
Bueno, okay, my name's Kyle. I've been investigating crypto since 2017. Not originally able to get into it because I was only working for a nonprofit, not making any money. I was a volunteer doctor in Guatemala, but at some point in 2020, actually during COVID, I was actually able to start making money and putting it into crypto. And since I've already learned from the last 3 years, I knew exactly what to start doing and grew from there. And like the reason why I do this is, well, there's many layers to it. One, being a sovereign currency, or at least some currencies in here are sovereign, some are still control based. But if we want humanity to evolve beyond the confines that we have now, we need a truly democratized and decentral, community governed economic system, right? Not one that's governed by a Federal Reserve that can print money into thin air and just cause inflation, which makes everyone that's been saving money over the years lose value. Basically, the system that we have constructed that doesn't benefit the average citizen, right? It just benefits a select few. And cryptocurrencies are meant to change that, and it will, right?
There's so many of us. There's so many people on Earth. Like the economy is just, we need the new economies. This is what crypto is for. Exactly.
And the funny thing is, it's like, funny or not, but like there's so many layers to crypto. It's not just a currency, it is a technology, right? And it can be used to keep track of ledgers, right? Transactions, and that's where it's founded from, with Bitcoin. But now it's a technology, and we can make efficient AI that is open source, which means everyone can look at the code, and decentralized, so there's no one control structure, and it can replace a lot of manufacturing things and reconstruct social media to where you actually obtain the benefit, right? You're adding value by sharing your opinions, your thoughts, and you don't see any of that value, right? You just get your likes, but somebody's making money off of that. And then I can go into explaining how this all works, but we're going to keep it simple. But like with Brave web browser, you can now actually earn basic attention token, a cryptocurrency of which you could sell, and you just earn this from surfing the internet like you normally do, right? Because like Google, Facebook, Apple, they all sell your data as the marketers to know what to market you, right? It's valuable. And you get to capture that with cryptocurrencies. And then there's social media platforms. Hola, and so it's not just, it's going to revolutionize more things than just the financial system, but my vision of it into the future is actually revolutionizing livelihood, right? To make the individual career, their passion, their career, right?
Yes.
Your passion, the things that you're interested, the things you want to learn, and you share what you learn, you create income off of that, which is your livelihood. So it'll change the entire, not just economic system, but social structure as a whole.
Through the through the NFTs, you think, or like other kind of crypto systems? Because
crypto systems, because there's DAOs, which are decentralized autonomous organizations, which will replace like governing bodies, which will eventually replace governments, so giving more power to the people instead of needing to elect representatives, which they get bribed in the name of what's the word for it, lobbying, right? And it just kind of takes all these middlemen out of it, so that the people can have power. NFTs are more of like, they'll be a big part of digital IDs, which some people have a negative connotation with what that is. Of course, there is a negative side, but there's also a positive side, right? To actually maintain ownership over your birth record, your birth certificate.
That is insane. Yeah, like that thing branches out. Like when we have these conversations, and like, this is unbelievable how this branches out into everything, or even like rooting, not even like what you can see in the branches, but like roots into everything, the YouTube, like what you're watching, what you're buying, your toolbar, your birth certificate. Like, you're like, what is going on? It's crazy how there's so many ways to use the system in your favor, actually, if you start digging a little bit in what's possible, right?
Well, just think about it, like just to go into a quick thing of, okay, how does the Federal Reserve work and how does the money printing work, right? When are passing by, normally, like, most people know of a loan and don't have to put any collateral, right? But if you're somebody like a businessman and you want to get a loan for $1 million, you usually have to put collateral. That's usually worth 2 million. You put 2 million of assets and you get that $1 million loan, and you can do whatever you want with it. The same works with the country, right? If a country is going to take a loan from the Federal Reserve, which is what the dollar is, because we have to pay interest on the money that we print. We have collateral, and what is the collateral for U.S. government? United States citizens. This is part why your birth certificate is traded on the Forex exchanges. There's value within your very identity and existence. You are owned by a government. Blah blah blah. You are the collateral that's put aside to pay back the loan, right? That's part. That's
even your
why we're
data
taxed.
is a currency nowadays. Your email address, like everything.
Yeah, that is the most valuable asset. One of the most valuable assets. And, we don't get to tap into it. It's
yeah,
like,
no,
right?
yeah, this is not the topic of our mastermind. It's really more like technical, but it is the tool that is needed to learn to be able to evolve with the system and to make it evolve as well as it goes, as it's going to change. Like for me, my thing is that how can a government, because yes, I agree with you as how for years, the governments, they like kind of use the people to work for them, for their money to work and everything. But it's also how hard it is to manage and billions of people, right? Like as for a system that was an after-war, capitalism is an after-war system. So it was meant to keep people into this survival mode and give them the structure to, okay, this is what you need to do to survive. And now we're in a spiritual era. So we don't need to be in those frameworks like this anymore. We're able to know where we invest, to actually be co-creators, and not just because people were like terrorized at the time of capitalism, at the after war. So they had to have a system somehow. It's not even, there is both. Of course, not everyone was good in the system, but it's also like people were traumatized. They had to have a government tell them, okay, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. And the people at the government, they're humans like us, some of them, they're probably trying to do the best that they can and still, not always make the right decision by lack of education or how to actually handle it. So this is why now we cannot rely all of us into one system that is still managed by humans just like us. We all need to become a part of it and become the co-creators. And when we were talking, and I like what you said when so the mastermind that we're doing is like a platform, right? And you stake your investment into certain
Tokens, economic systems,
stations and stuff. And you were telling me, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna go to the main one because it's like less, I don't know, for me it was like there's more people there, I'm just gonna go to this one. And you said, you were like, yeah, but you can also go to the smaller ones, so it doesn't generate this gap, right, between the monopoly of the top industries and stuff like that, and investing in
the
smaller
validators.
one. Yes, so I liked it when you said that, because this is really the vision I had when we were starting the mastermind, that everybody investing, and not just for the crypto, but it's like when you purchase something from someone, the store where you're buying someone's course, or you're buying a knowledge, or you're buying a service or whatever, and then they buy from you. And by doing all that, the education, you no longer rely to only one source of education, but many. We learn from each other, because like our life is becoming richer and richer. We have so many more, like I said, we're no longer on the survival mode. So our life is a lot more spiritual and manifesting synchronicities and magical, and the healing that is available now online for everybody, everything that's been transmuted on a collective level, the things that people were not about to heal by themselves, like after war, for example, like 2 generations of traumas, like we are like taking on to that and transmuting it right now. So, and then I lost the track of what I was going to say next. Our life is becoming more rich and more spiritual. So we have so much more to give and teach two from each other, you know. So the crypto kind of works like that. It's really like this
And it's an interconnected ecosystem, because you're right, there's been an evolution of things, and there was a time that humanity needed an authority figure to govern us and tell us what to do, where to go. But as time went on, that became tainted, I guess you could say, and now we live in the age of information. In the age of information, ignorance is a choice, and that we have, so like you say, we have so many avenues of learning different things, and changing that to learning some useless things just to pass a test and get a piece of paper. Now we have access to learning things that are actually within our heart's desires and what we actually want to pursue, and start that at a young age, even become optimal beings. And because a big part of it is like, in that time of relying on authority, like even going to a job, right? You're adding value, but you're adding value for somebody else to make money, and you make a fraction of that. Now that's gone up with the internet and things, like anyone can start a business, anyone can start selling products through affiliate marketing and make money online. And like, now there's just so many options. It just needs education. And with crypto, and not having it, again, crypto takes that authority out of the economic system, right? The internet's allowed to take the authority out of education. Now we can take the authority out of the economic system. And slowly, step by step, we're becoming more of a free, community-based species. But it takes time. People need to be educated, and that's part of what this course is about, right? To educate people onto what we've done through utilizing these things for to benefit us. And it's a never ending to learn crypto too, because it's also just like any technology that evolves quickly. But it is. It's something that everyone should learn how to manage their finances and to maximize it for themselves, especially in this time of transition, right? You can look out at the world around you and see that there's some kind of transition happening. And to be ahead of the game.
More intuitive as well. It's more and more intuitive. Like once you've learned the technique, like the system, the tools and stuff. Like at first I was following exactly everything. Like Kyel will tell me, I was like, oh, just tell me what to click, what to do and stuff. And then I was the one telling you, okay, so now do I do this? Is this correct? Do I do this? Do I do this? I kind of like a hang of it. And I was like, okay, I kind of know how it is, but I'm going to double ask just to make sure I'm not doing silly things. And this is why we actually recorded the masterminds, because there are some questions. For example, I was completely wrong. And this is when it's good that actually Kyel is a specialist and I'm a beginner, because where things were obvious for him, I had questions, and vice versa, so it was a good compliment really to make this. For example, when I took this loan, right? I took this loan that is like 11% from the bank to buy more crypto. And this is when you explained to me how the APY, right? The return on interest come back to us. So if your my loan is 11% interest, but my crypto investment brings me back 120% of what I invest, then there is I make a lot more money than what I actually owe the bank every month. So it's a lot of tricks like this. And what you said earlier is like you use the bank, as a tool, like you co-create with the bank. It's not just a deposit place where you put the bank and you put the money and withdraw from it. Oh, we lost Kyel again. It's like a tool that you actually use. Oh, he says, I don't know what's going on here today. Right. Come back, Kyel. Come back. So yes, so we have all of these discussions for months, and then we put everything in the masterminds to teach you, because this is the economy of the future. Look.
Yay.
It's okay. All right, so that's a good introduction presentation. So we're just literally doing this so to introduce ourselves and to see the kind of like vibe and purpose and conversations that we have and we want to share, because really this is how the the economy is evolving. Everybody's crypto now. Everybody, like you need to learn it. How to make the money is the most important. Like if you don't know how to use your money, for me, I'm freaked out when I see like I'm spending money and it's not coming back. Yeah, of course I need to work. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop working, but when I see that I can actually have the money somewhere and it actually rolls on, okay, so it's not a lot right now. I invested, I don't want to say like, but I invested like 7,000. I started with 800, and when I saw that it doubled, so I had 2,000, and then I went to take the loan, right? I added 5,000 to it, so I have like 7,000, and so it rolls on. I have maybe $300, considering that the crypto stays stable, right? Which means not going too much down or too much higher. Just the rewards themselves are like $300, which doesn't seem like a lot. You're like, all this money for that, but it's still $300 that rolls on and works for you, and then you reinvest every single time into it. So if within a year from now, it will be 600, and I kind of plan crypto going high, even higher, right?
Yeah, maybe even more. But then you also got to think, like, if that $7,000 was put in your bank account, what would you be making a month? Right?
Yeah.
Like $10 maybe.
Yeah.
So
Nothing.
it may not sound like a much, but it's putting money somewhere that's actually doing something that you don't have to do anything for.
Yeah.
It's just creating a simple passive income stream by putting your money work for you. And that's what a lot of people do, right? Like the rich people, the rich classes of the past, investing in the stocks that pay dividends, it required a lot more, throw $1 million in Tesla stock or Apple stock, but you get 3% every year, but it's $1 million.
It's been beautiful. Okay, like the screen froze, like God. Are you here? Okay, so I don't know if you can see. That's scary. Okay, I need to screenshot this. All right, so I think we lost Kyel again. All right, guys.
I'm back again. But yeah, so like that $300 doesn't sound like much, but for not doing anything and just putting your money in a specific place outside of your savings account, it's like, why not? And especially since it is an appreciating asset that will eventually revolutionize and take over the world as an economic system worldwide, the value will only accrue.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because like you froze in one of these poses. You were like, I was just screenshotting your face. So I'm still laughing about it. Yeah, sorry. Okay, but I'm listening at the same time.
No, so it's like, it makes sense, right? And it is replacing the economic system. So other countries are already getting involved. El Salvador already accepts Bitcoin as a currency. Miami, the city of Miami, actually is dealing with Bitcoin, and a couple other states are going to be doing it. And
can you imagine
Russia talking about it? China already
uses
uses CBDC that's built on a blockchain. So it's like, it's there. You just like anybody that still doubts it isn't paying attention. Right?
Yeah, like even the governments are doing it. Like, they're the first one into that. Just like, just like the marijuana, like when they saw like how much money they can make out of that, like they were like, okay, now we're going to legalize that so we can actually get our share of this. So it's the same with the crypto. Even you told me, right, even the Navy, they have their tokens and stuff. Now even all the business, they're starting to have their coins and their tokens. And so yeah, did we lose you again, Kyel? Oh man, hey, it's Central America. No, I'm kidding, because usually we have no problem with the connection, but just today we're making this video presentation. It keeps freezing. But so yeah, so we invite you to join. I don't know if you can hear me, Kyel. You're frozen to us. I mean, your screen is not working. Beautiful. Yeah, the mastermind is $143 on mastermind.com. It's called Journey to Crypto. And and yeah, we explain everything. It's super easy. It's a 2 pages PDF. It's not like a 40 pages book, or you have to understand a whole bunch of stuff. For me, you see how Kyel, he knows, he's into this. I was like, okay, just tell me where I click, what do I buy? And I don't need to know more. And at the end, he over-delivered. He gives me so much information that I know just, I remember everything so well. But in the technical is really easy. Okay, so we're doing this to help you because, my personal situation is that I didn't have an income, and I want to keep doing my art. I want to keep doing the stuff that I love, whether it brings me money or not, right? Like it has at the time, it brought me money, and then it didn't. And now hopefully it's going to start again. But no matter what, I want to have a backup. Okay. If my son is on holidays for 2 months, or if I have to travel all of a sudden, whatever, something, I want to have some backup and money work for me. And I'm thinking my single moms friends, that are stuck, like, because they have kids and it's hard for them to work and make an income. And I'm like, man, if you have $500 to start with, it's not a lot. I know it is a lot. Like when you broke, it is a lot of money. It seems like, but think about it. You're going to spend it anyways. The money is going to go. Okay. You're going to go to Target. You're going to buy clothes. You're going to buy something. So it's going to be gone and not come back. So you might as well invest it into something that you might lose it if the crypto crashes and goes down, but it might go up a lot. Remember the people who bought Bitcoin a few years ago, they spent just a few bucks in the Bitcoin, and 10 years later, they're like millionaires. So this is my thinking, right? A year from now, 2 years from now, I know that right now in the present moment, it feels like, no, I have this $500. I want them for me right now. I need them available. But I went to the bank to get my loan because I believe so much. I was like, I want to have next year, 2 years from now, I want to have my backup and money like working for me. So even if I have, like, no matter what happens, I will have a little money comes in every month. Okay, so that can actually help even right now. Like, I haven't touched anything. I just reinvest everything. But if I want to pay off my credit card with it, I can just pull back the money wherever I want. It's available all the time. So we'd like you to check it out. Yay, you're back. So I was just kind of like, I explained in the mastermind, I said that we invite them, to join and follow the conversation and the PDF, and that we're doing this really for everybody. Like we could just like keep it to ourselves, and but the conversations were so good that I was like, oh, let's make a PDF, like even for myself. I was like, I want to have it written so I remember. Why not have other people use it and have the option, if they want to know how this system works? At least it's interesting, even just for the education of it. You don't have to spend $7,000. You can put $200 and see how it works. It's not going to generate a lot from $200, but I did put $200 in my crypto. That wasn't through that, but that was just through PayPal. What, that last year for Christmas, they had these like no fees crypto, and I bought $200 of crypto. 6 months later, it turned into 800, and I paid my plane ticket to go to France with it. So this is when I was like, oh, that's cool, from 200 that I'm just buying a plane ticket. So
yeah, it's an investment. Like you can start with just what we have, like even if it's a couple like $5 or whatever, they just trickle in, dollar cost average. It's just buying when you have the funds, but seeing it as an investment that's for the future, and not going into it unless you have the capabilities, but not using it as a way to make an income, but just seeing it as investment opportunities into a financial system that's replacing the old financial system. And if you can make a income out of it, then hey, more power to you. That's what I've done. But
Perfect. Yeah.
You just start off with something. Right?
Yeah.
If you not paying attention, there's a lot of economic woes within the world, and it's just dollar is the only currency that was allowed to use to trade oil, and now that's not anymore because of Ukraine and Russia. So Russia is now not accepting dollars, and they're trading with China and other countries with the ruble and yuan. So the dollar's going away. I don't know if it'll go away completely, but it's going to lose value. It's already losing value. The inflation rate 7.8%. So why keep your cash, any cash that you have, any savings you have, in something that's losing 7.8% per year? And that's only what we tell, right? What's the prices of food going up? For what I've seen, 20 to 30% for a lot of products, food products and things. So it's like inflation 7.8, but food's up 30%.
Wow.
As a preparatory thing, and as just like a hedge for yourself and your families and things. So it makes sense to invest in the technology that is meant to replace this stuff. So it just makes sense to me.
Yeah. No, yeah, awesome. And so how is life in Honduras?
Good. I mean, it's really chill. Like I do my studies and go about the life. It's much chiller than from what I observe from my external observations of what's going on in the United States and other places. It's really chill. The people don't really care about much. They just kind of live their lives. They're pretty happy about doing what they do. And yeah, it's a completely different world. 'Cause I've been doing videos about this, of these things in the United States, and there's a lot of discontent being fueled, right? Of racism, division, these different fights that are kind of being fueled. And being down here, it's like none of that exists, right? There's stuff that exists, but there's no like this manufactured hatred, which is just a divide and conquer to keep people distracted from the real enemy, which is, like we were saying, the Federal Reserve, this corporation that's been using the people as cattle to make money for themselves, all whilst you don't make much of anything, and now losing money because of the economic choices that they made. So it's interesting to observe and try to educate people on more than just the crypto, but also like, okay, what's really going on, right?
Yeah. Is it like a lot of I don't know Honduras, I've never been there. Is it more natural, like a lot of carreteras, or like you have like big roads or big buildings? No, you shouldn't have big buildings. It's more like small houses.
Just in the capital there's some bigger buildings, but for the most part, like I'm in a city now, and it's a fairly busy city, with you have big roads and a lot of traffic and a lot of noise, a lot of shops and things. But what's nice is that a lot of the food is local, right? That's part of the problem with like the United States. They import a lot of food, and there's a lot of cost to that, and that's part of the reason why prices have gone up over there. Here there is no inflation, at least not that much, just because everything's produced here. And like when I was living in Dos Nombre, which is a much smaller town with more dirt roads and things, and it's just also more relaxed. And so like it's natural, but it's pretty hot and dry. They cut down a lot of trees. It's a lot of cattle stuff. So it's pretty hot and dry, getting warmer by the day. But I don't know. I've always liked it. I've been drawn here since I first visited Costa Rica and Belize when I was like 16. I became infatuated with the idea of Central America, and then lived in Guatemala for 4 years, and Costa Rica for 3 months, and now I'm in Honduras. So, just the vibe is much more chill, right? There's less, especially, I mean, I guess there's some privilege to that because like having the dollar goes a lot farther. So I don't have to work, because there are, of course, issues with these countries with education and with working conditions, and like, which is a whole nother thing I can go into, of like how the US also like we look at some countries as third world countries, but there's a reason to that, right? Nestle Corporation doing certain things within Guatemala.
That they
And
have to have them to
exactly.
allow
They
certain like mining companies to come establish or
taking
work.
advantage of the local
Yeah.
population to keep things cheap and accessible, like making your fancy clothes that people wear. And it's like, oh, where's those made? Oh, they're made in like Singapore, paying people pennies to the dollar and having like, they're the capitalism system that we have is highly dependent on keeping countries impoverished for their success. So there's all that stuff too. And,
Yeah, well, there is a pros and cons, like because the life, they call it like developing countries. It's actually like the life is a lot more natural, a lot more meaningful. I feel like for me that was a bit. And don't get me wrong, I love my life in the US now. Like I get used to my comfort zone and that everything is clean and that I don't get sick when I eat the food. When I was in Peru, the food was so good, and I'm not saying it's a dirty country, or don't get me wrong there, but I kind of get used to it, right? The comfort, but I kind of like the life in Peru, like more natural, more like contact between people. You go to the bodega, like hola mamita, and the food was so good, even though like I would get really sick sometimes if I would eat, from street food.
questionable spaces, but
Yeah.
there's a funny thing about that though, is that like I know that you tend to eat a little bit healthier and stuff, but there is something to the diet of the United States that a lot of, because of the processed foods and whatnot, like you don't have the gut biome to be able to digest real food. And that's the thing, like you come to these countries, it's real food. It's not
Exactly. We see it the way around. We're like, oh, we go there, we get sick because the food, but no, it's because our body isn't working up, isn't optimal. Definitely. Yeah, that's crazy. Like even the body temperature, like with my ex-husband, that was our fight since day one. And we met. It's like I got to the US and it was AC everywhere. AC everywhere. I was like, I'm sorry, I cannot eat in a restaurant. I cannot go to the movie theater. I just can't do these things. I can't handle it. I can't handle the AC. Like, and in our house, I never turn on the AC. I open the windows. In France, we have windows open all the time. We don't even have AC in France. Like only like rich people with a giant house or have an AC. That's a really like, we don't have it. But here, yeah. And like the body, like people would come to my house and be like, oh my God, it's so hot in here. And I'd be like, man, I'm freezing. And they're like, no, what is your AC set on? I'll be like, I don't know, 75. They're like, oh my God, like in my house, it's like 65 or 68. I'm like, yeah, I could never go to your house. Like,
right, without sweaters and
air, like air from outside, open the windows, guys, like life.
Right, and your body adjusts, and when you deprive yourself of these extremes, then your body doesn't know how to adjust, and so you're
Yeah.
unable to handle like the natural environment of like, oh yeah, it's hot. It tends to be hot in a lot of places, and if you rob yourself of that, yeah, that heat's going to be a lot worse for you. It's going to feel more intense. Same with the cold. If you don't expose yourself, your body doesn't know how to adjust. And so yeah, there's a lot of but it's nice.
South America is amazing. Like, so South America, all the countries where I've been, people are amazing. The landscape, the everything is beautiful. Like, I love it. I miss it. When I got to the US, it was a real big contrast. Like, it was really, really tough. I'm still not completely like used to it. Even like I said, I like to have my car, my comfortable house, but for the rest of like the cost of traveling, for example, in Peru, I would travel almost every weekend somewhere or every month. It was easy to have my own apartment or to share an apartment and pay everything, pay for the bills, like all of that. That was super.
But that's the thing. It's like
so
you can have that down here in these places. Like have a house, a comfortable house. You can buy a car and drive around. And, like, you can have those comforts. It may not be exactly the same, but like the thing is, like, you know, you can buy a piece of land for fairly cheap. You can buy a house for fairly cheap. You know, buying the land, building the house to the way you want it to be, and as comfortable as you want it to be, is still, imagine, at least half the price of what you pay for a house in, say, Jacksonville. I mean, you can buy a piece of land for $10,000, build a house for $20,000. You have spent $30,000, and you have a house that you built, you designed, made for yourself, and it's comfortable. And you know, it's like, yeah, I think we get so accustomed to this idea of like only the United States has these things, or only Europe has these comforts and qualities. But no, you can have those things anywhere, most places.
Oh yeah, oh definitely, yeah. No, there are some decent. How everywhere you go, I think it's just like in the US or in Jacksonville mostly. You remember, because Kyel and I, we know each other from Jacksonville actually. Before he was in Honduras, we were friends in Jacksonville. But you see here, one block can be like super nice neighborhood, and like 2 blocks down, it's like, you know, houses run down, and but which they're kind of working a lot to even out now the neighborhoods. They're doing concerts into like these perpendiculars to Union Street and stuff like that, like the tough areas, to try to, you know, fill the gap, right, between like where I live, for example. It used to be almost ghetto, you know, and now it's getting nice. It's like the place to be, like literally. They're building a bunch of like residential communities, and so yeah, no, Jacksonville is a great, I think it's for Florida is great, because you don't have the traffic from Miami, and you still have the great weather and bigger houses.
It doesn't get as hot either, or humid, and so it's quite nice. And then
easy to travel to everywhere. Yeah.
Although I hear Miami's going to do something with their Bitcoin, with like either paying a fraction of the people's taxes, or actually keep giving some of the dividends from what they generate, because they mine Bitcoin and they do something with stacks, which is another currency. So Miami is actually looking to actually pay their citizens, like the people that live there, in some form of Bitcoin, based off of what the revenue they generated off of the taxes they invested into Bitcoin. So Miami has some interesting things going on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, always, yeah, and with the art as well. Yeah.
And actually, right now they're having a Bitcoin conference down there. Zilica's down there in the Metropolis, which is the metaverse, one of the metaverse things. So there's actually, yeah, Miami has a lot of innovative things going on.
Oh yeah, we need to record a session about these cryptos, like what you know about each of the cryptos. You know, what do these ones? What is this company? What is these? Where does this come from? Like, I'm curious. How does it start? How does it? We go more in detail into that, because we keep adding to the masterminds, right? Every time we have these topics that come up, then we add a session, right? If you want to watch just the first 2, where it's really the technical, you can learn that. But if you want to go further, we keep adding on other branching topics to like start conversations. If you can leave your comments, and the more
right now, learn a little bit.
Yeah, to learn. And right now we haven't done any lives, but when we start having, because this mastermind is up now, anyone can come and use it, even a year from now, 2 years from now. Like, people are everybody is gonna want to know that, like, a year from now and 2 years, or even they should right now, you know. So we'll be able to start doing lives and have actual conversations, and because there's a lot of questions. You can't imagine the amount of questions. When Kyel started talking to me about it, I was just like, oh, I have a question, and what is that, and what is that, and what is that, you know.
There's a lot of information. There's a lot of stuff, because Ethereum's not what it seems. The difference between centralized and decentralized cryptocurrencies, right? XRP, XLM, XDC. I'm down to share the information that I have the best that I can to help people understand. So
Yay.
Of course.
Thank you.
That's good.
It's awesome. It's awesome. No, I'm excited that we did that. That was a lot at the beginning to put everything together, like mostly when I was trying to convert all these podcasts, like these audios, but the videos that we decided to do works a lot better. So thank you, Kyel. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you as well.
Yes. Okay, everybody. So journey to crypto, mastermind.com. If you have any questions, you can comment. And we're here for you guys. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye bye. I don't know.